he has detailed videos going over every mechanic in StarCraft 2. So anyway, guys, let's talk about this. Now, you're going to notice I'm not APM restricting myself, anything like that. You guys can ask questions and talk to me while we do it. But what we're doing is a Nydus Worm build. It's a Zerg versus Zerg, but you can apply this cheese to any matchup. It is a cheese, it's a surprise attack. It's looking to just knock your opponent out with one big move. Obviously, with any big, cheesy, committed attack, if you kill enough workers, you know, you can turn it into a longer game, but you need to kill a lot of workers, usually to make it worthwhile. So we're going to be going for a hatchery first version. Now, I'm going to do a really old version of the Nydus Worm, which is really fast and really efficient. We're going to do it off about 29 workers, with 2 gases, and we're probably going to be launching the attack, I want to say probably about 4:45, something like that. I can't remember the exact timing. Off the top of my head, somewhere around there. So we're going hatchery on 17, gas on 18, pool on 17. Now what we're going to do is you'll notice, once again, queuing things up. As I build these drones, I click them into the gas here in the early game. Because my main's saturated and my gas is going to be saturated manually with this last drone that I'm rallying into it, or I can do it that way, I've already got my rally points to my natural. Once again, preparing ahead, trying to get everything organized as early as possible, so if pressure starts, if other things happen, my attention's freed up to deal with that. A lot of efficiency and dealing with things in StarCraft is really just focused on trying to get your actions out of the way as early as possible, so that you can free up your actions for the fighting, for the engagements, for the reactions later on in the game. Notice how my overlords are both moving to the front of the base. I'm gonna have to make sure I rotate one of those so I can pop the Nydus Worm into the main later on, but I don't want to kind of show that just yet. For now, this overlord's going to move forward, and it's going to check the natural expansion is there, which we don't see. So it's a very late expansion, and going out to get a 3rd base by the looks of it. So I'm not 100% sure what's happening, except that that's such a late hatch that I'm building a lot of Zerglings to try and be safe. So I'm going to send 2 Zerglings across and try and do that. Yeah.
Related to setting things up, we have a few questions concerning efficient control grouping, especially as Zerg.
Okay, that's always something which is worth talking about, right?
Hotkeying eggs?
Hotkeying eggs is so important. So important.
Yeah, so when you make units, you control click the eggs, and then you shift into your hotkey.
Yep, so I'll show it the next time I'm building some units as well.
You want to be careful that you don't like control group drones or overlords. So if say you're making drones or overlords, and then you want to make units, you should reselect your hatchery, and then reselect your larva, and then make the units, and then hotkey your eggs.
Yeah, and so basically right now I've got my queens on a special control group, and we're gonna make sure the the biggest energy queens get in the Nydus Worm first, by the way. So we're not gonna even hide it here. We're just gonna put it in the middle. And notice, check this maneuver out. I'm stopping injecting because I don't need more injects at this point. Highest energy queen, next highest, and they're in a line, and they're gonna load in the Nydus first so that they pop out first. First unit in, first unit out is how it works. Now notice here, I've built roaches. And what I did is I go build roaches, I control click on the egg, and then I go shift 2 to add that into my army group. Now, because he's being annoying, I'm going to send my Zerglings. No, he's going home. Okay. Yep, queens are lined up. I had forgotten to put my overlord in position, so we're just going to have to pop this outside the base, which is fine. And we're going to put roaches in first. Zerglings last, guys. Why? Because they're the shittest unit. We don't want to pop those out. So you've got to be very quick to unload and then transfuse it to keep it alive. So notice I'm just spamming these boxes, and I've got my unload hotkey ready. And he's not actually focus firing it, so I'm not going to use the transfusers on it. But it's important to have these transfusers ready, these high energy queens. And that's how we pop out. Now queens might want to waste their time here, so it's important of course to keep our rally point on that Nydus Worm, which I forgot to do, and that way we can keep selecting our Nydus Worm, and we can just keep unloading and moving here. So once again on the hotkeying eggs, build, control group, Shift 2 into that army. GG, dude. That was an odd opening from Mufasa. I think he panicked a little bit being on stream. He went for a really weird opening there. But yeah, that's definitely you know, how you like to organize your units. And just to highlight what Captain Fail was saying before, guys. So the thing is, what he was mentioning is you can't just go build some drones, build some overlords, build some roaches, and then go control click add to your army. Because then you've not just got the roaches, you've also got the overlords and drones in your army. So these drones are about to pop out, and notice I'm moving my control group around. Oh no, they're on my army. So if you got to build drones or overlord, this is how you do it. So I'm going to take these drones out. If you accidentally get things on your army, how do you get rid of that, by the way? What am I going to do? I'm going to tell everything to go on the minerals, right click, control shift, re-control group by going control 2. Check it. My army's back to just my roaches. I can select something else. If I select number 2, it's just the roaches. So control shift will remove all of a unit type from your selection. Only works in the bottom display bar. It doesn't work on screen. So very easy to just remove units you don't want in your composition and recreate your control group. So normally what you do is if you want to build fighting units, you build them, you control group them, and then you reselect your hatcheries to build overlords and drones, and you don't control group those to make sure they're separate from your army. One of the most important mechanics with Zerg. The other, of course, really big mechanic for beginner Zerg players is always going to be scouting. So what you can do is using cloning. Let's say I want to split off some scouts around my base. I can do this. I can say everybody go here, shift left click. Everybody go here, shift left click. Everybody go here, shift left click. I can then go control 2 and notice I've basically told everyone to go somewhere. I've removed one person from my selection so they keep that order. Rinse and repeat, and then I recreate my army, and then these guys are just dedicated scouting units, not on any control group. Organizing control groups is one of these things which seems really complicated and daunting, but once you start using the basics and you get comfortable with it, adding in these fancy ways of executing things just becomes more and more natural, and it actually just, it makes sense. Like, it just suddenly feels so damned good. It's really sick. People were asking about the game hard overlay before. I forgot to